Welcome to Nexplain, your source for clear, concise updates on the world's most pressing stories. Today is Sunday, June 22nd, 2025, and we're diving into the escalating conflict between Israel and Iran, the United States' direct military involvement, and other significant global events. Let's get started. Segment 1: Israel-Iran conflict and U.S. involvement. The conflict between Israel and Iran, now in its 10th day, reached a critical turning point today as the United States entered the fray with direct military action. President Donald Trump announced that U.S. forces conducted airstrikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, late Saturday, marking the first American offensive operations in this conflict. Speaking from the White House, Trump described the strikes as a spectacular military success, aimed at halting Iran's nuclear ambitions. He urged Iran to make peace or face further attacks. The strikes involved B-2 stealth bombers, deploying massive ordnance penetrator bunker buster bombs, and Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from a U.S. Navy submarine. A senior U.S. official highlighted the Isfahan facility as the most challenging target due to its fortified underground structure, noting that precision targeting and extensive intelligence were critical to the operation's success. Iran's response was swift and defiant. The state-run IRNA news agency confirmed the attacks on the 3 nuclear sites, and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi condemned the U.S. strikes as outrageous and a violation of international law. Speaking at the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in Istanbul, Araghchi stated that diplomacy is not an option at the moment, and warned that the U.S. is fully responsible for the consequences. He also accused Trump of betraying his campaign promise to avoid forever wars. Iran has signaled it is reserving all options for retaliation, raising fears of further escalation. Meanwhile, Israel continued its aggressive campaign against Iran. The Israel Defense Forces reported striking dozens of military sites today, including missile and drone storage facilities, missile launchers, and air defense production sites in Isfahan, Bushehr, and Ahvaz. The IDF also claimed to have eliminated Iranian soldiers loading missile launchers during the operation. The conflict, which began on June 13th, when Israel launched a surprise attack on Iranian military and nuclear facilities, has already caused significant casualties. Iran's health ministry reports at least 639 deaths and over 1,277 injuries from Israeli strikes, while Israel cites 24 deaths and hundreds wounded from Iranian missile and drone attacks. Both countries' airspaces remain closed, and thousands of Israelis have been displaced. Regional actors are also reacting. Hamas and Yemen's Houthi rebels, both Iran-backed groups, condemned the U.S. strikes, with the Houthis threatening to target U.S. Navy warships in the Red Sea. Iran-backed militias in Iraq, such as Kataib Hezbollah, have vowed to attack U.S. bases if American involvement deepens, though no such attacks have been reported today. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who held a 5-hour security cabinet meeting during the U.S. strikes, has not publicly commented today, but has previously thanked Trump for standing by Israel. Sources indicate Israel is hoping for continued U.S. support, particularly to target Iran's heavily fortified Fordow nuclear site, which requires U.S. bunker-busting capabilities. Host: the international community is on edge. The UN Security Council is set to hold an emergency meeting to address the crisis, prompted by Iran's claims of undeniable evidence of U.S. involvement. UN Chief Antonio Guterres called for immediate de-escalation, while IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi reiterated that there's no evidence Iran is actively building a nuclear weapon, despite its stockpile of 60% enriched uranium. Segment 2: Global reactions and diplomatic effort. World leaders are grappling with the implications of this escalating conflict. At the G7 summit in Canada, which President Trump left early last week to address the crisis, leaders issued a joint statement calling for restraint and diplomacy. French President Emmanuel Macron, who has criticized the idea of regime change in Iran, emphasized the need for the U.S. to lead diplomatic efforts to de-escalate. Russia and China have also weighed in. Russian President Vladimir Putin has offered to mediate, though Israel has shown reluctance to engage. China has begun evacuating its nationals from both Israel and Iran, urging both sides to ensure civilian safety. In Iran, mass protests in Tehran, Isfahan, and other cities expressed solidarity with the government, while pro-Iran rallies took place in Baghdad and Beirut. Conversely, pro-Palestine demonstrations in Berlin, London, and Stockholm waved Iranian flags, calling for an end to Western support for Israel. Segment 3. Other important events of June 22, 2025. Beyond the Middle East, other significant events unfolded today. In Berlin, over 10,000 people rallied in support of Gaza, while a smaller protest near the Reichstag demanded the ousting of Iran's leadership. In London, pro-Palestine marchers clashed with counter-protesters near the Iranian embassy, leading to 8 arrests. In the U.S., House Speaker Mike Johnson praised the strikes on Iran as evidence of Trump's America First policy, though some MAGA supporters remain critical, citing polls showing 53% of Trump voters oppose U.S. involvement in the conflict. Globally, oil prices surged above $75 a barrel, driven by fears of disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz, a critical oil shipping route. The recent collision of 2 tankers in the Gulf of Oman has heightened concerns about regional instability impacting energy markets. Finally, several countries, including Australia, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic, announced temporary closures or evacuations of their embassies in Tehran, citing deteriorating security. Australia has deployed a crisis response team to Azerbaijan to assist citizens fleeing Iran. As the Israel-Iran conflict enters uncharted territory with U.S. involvement, the world watches anxiously. Will diplomacy prevail? Or are we on the brink of a broader regional war? That's all for tonight's report on Nexplain. Stay tuned for more updates as this story unfolds. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.